This is about the big game, the Super Bowl, the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl for professional football, the WrestleMania of the gridiron. And what it comes down to is it going to be the Colts or is it going to be the Saints? We've been asking this question pretty much the last couple of weeks, getting everybody's thoughts and everybody's picks in. Nick the Flick Martinez is basically back in the AFC, mainly because the Jets didn't make it, which is understandable. Me being an NFC boy, of course I'm going to sit here and back the NFC, but the consensus is that the Colts are going to win this game. Why? I'm just curious about it. Maybe, just maybe, you guys can answer that question. What makes the Colts so much better than the Saints? Because the Colts have been to the Super Bowl before? Maybe. Because the Colts have done it before? Possibly. Or is it because of the fact you just believe that Peyton Manning cannot be stopped? That it is his mission to finish this season with that Super Bowl championship and avoid the avalanche of what were you thinking moments that are probably going to be culminated and dedicated all in the eyes of that very football team that decided they didn't want the undefeated season, they want a Super Bowl. I know they say you shouldn't question the refs or question the players or question the team, but I am going to question the Colts. If you can have the best of both worlds, if you can have your cake and eat it too, wouldn't you take advantage of it? Of course you would, because you're supposed to be a genius. You're supposed to be the smart one. But hey, it's not just me who is asking this question. What would happen if the Colts not win the Super Bowl? We're going to find out on Sunday, because as far as offense-wise, the advantage is the Saints. Defensive-wise, forget about the fact of whether Dwight Freeney's going to play or not. One player is not going to make this whole team good, obviously. But everybody's revolving around Peyton Manning like he is pretty much a football god among men. First rule, never anger the sports gods, which is exactly what Peyton Manning has done. And it's all good, because defensive-wise, I'd give that edge to the Saints, because I really see that defense doing the exact same thing they did to Kurt Warner and to Brett Favre, and that is punishing Peyton Manning. Forget about how good that offensive line thinks they are. The offensive line is not as good as advertised. Peyton Manning can be popped, he can be whacked, and he will be getting needing that turf a lot this Sunday because of that nasty Saints defense. As far as clutch goes, you have to give a little bit of that advantage to the Colts because of the fact that even though they don't have Adam Vinatieri, or as he's called in commercials, Adam Nugateri, sitting here actually making those kicks, you got enough players on that team to get the job done. But you don't have Bob Sanders, who was the big playmaker for when the Colts won that Super Bowl a couple of years ago. You don't have that guy. So now you have to go with the next best thing, which is what? Matt Stover? Are you kidding me? Nah. I will put money on Garrett Hartley any day right about now, because he was in the biggest kicking situation in his entire career. Make or break time. It was overtime. It was the NFC Championship on the line. And guess who came through in the clutch? Why, the New Orleans Saints. And Garrett Hartley, who had been suspended at the beginning of the year, and at the end of his season, he made the biggest kick in his life, and he nailed it straight through the uprights, and good. Saints go to the Super Bowl. All that being said, I can sit here and go with the consensus. Well, actually, the consensus last night, when I basically was talking to a lot of sports fans, was Colts, Bears. No, I'm not making this up. Colts, Saints. That was what the roundtable was going at. Apparently, there were two guys who apparently really wanted the Bears in that Super Bowl. Or either that, or they had short-term memory loss to still think that it's that Super Bowl and not this one. But hey, no harm, no foul. It was fun to sit here and watch those guys sit there and have some fun at everybody's expense, which is what we're going to do now. Peyton Manning, you are great. You are good. Don't get me wrong. But you, even the greatest, have to suffer a letdown so unimaginable that they get that high dose of reality to realize I'm good, but he was better. This is why I take heart and soul over inevitability. Because sometimes inevitability just doesn't work. And it doesn't work in this case either. Yes, I'm usually sitting here screaming and yelling and all that good stuff, but today I'm trying to get that zen back. And my zen is telling me, as well as my gut, which, if AJ Johnson, if you're watching, you know my gut has not stirred me wrong yet. My pick for this year's Super Bowl champion, and what many would call an upset and what some would call just plain smart thinking, is not the Indianapolis Colts. It's the New Orleans Saints. Who that? Them Saints. Why am I picking the Saints? I go with heart over anything else. If a team plays with heart, if they play with pride, and not to mention when you got your entire city on your back, surrounding you and rallying around you to basically bring that Super Bowl championship back to the Bayou, I'll take the Big Easy over the Big Indy. Anytime, any day. That's why Super Bowl 44, the Saints, they're 3.5-point underdogs, I believe. Maybe a little more now, maybe a little less. But everybody's just deciding on Dwight Freeney. Big deal. Dwight Freeney, you're hurt. Oh, you're sore. Wham, wham, wham. It's either you want to play or you don't. You don't sit here and play this little media thing where I might and I might not. Dwight Freeney, your name is Dwight Freeney, not Brett Favre. And why am I keep mentioning Brett Favre? It's because guess what? Brett Favre, by a unanimous vote, you are this week's bad fish. And you already know why. And if you don't, all you got to do is remember that one play where it wasn't all your fault, but the ball was in your hand. So, that being said, New Orleans Saints win the Super Bowl. Dana Ross of Loveland, Colorado, big props to you for basically sticking to your guns. I know you probably lost a few friends after that NFC Championship game, but hey, you'll have a Super Bowl championship to celebrate with, but hey, it happens. Don't forget to sit here and join the revolution. Sports Courier hit the ropes, as well as Bleacher Brothers and The Last Call. Definitely can't leave those guys out. Big shots out to all the guys for all their big efforts this week to help us get this show together. And with all things considered, it's big thanks to all the fans who have joined us on Facebook as well. We do have a Facebook page. We also have Justin.tv, which is also one of our newest things, a live webcast with pretty much all of us. Ron Dog, Jay, AJ, Nick the Flick, as well as myself, the captain. And this is your captain, Ron Johnson. Again, big shots out to Bobby Lashley, Herschel Walker, Nick Diaz, as well as Nick the Flick Martinez for his big Pro Bowl coverage, as well as Strike Force coverage, AJ for all the great videos, Jay for all the fun he's been having Vitel in Vegas. And don't worry, we won't ask you what happened while you were there, but next time, take me with you, will ya? I need the vacation anyhow.
Flash.